I was in a rather unique position with Bishop Darcy as his Master of Ceremonies, which meant that I went around with him from parishes and schools, etc., when he did different liturgical events, whether it was a Mass or blessing of a new school or new church. I got to share with him a lot of the joyous occasions of our diocese, ordinations to the priesthood, but also at the same time shared some of those tougher days when a priest would die, for the burial of priests. We did have to consolidate and merge some parishes, and Bishop was very much at the forefront of he wanted to be there for that last Mass. He wanted to be with the people. The administration of the sacraments, even though he was a bishop, was really the bedrock of his priesthood. He felt most comfortable and most at ease being out with the people, hearing confessions, saying Mass, but being right in with the people. The thing that always moved me was that after all these liturgies, no matter how busy it was, at some point in time before we left, he would take 1 or 2 minutes and just stop and pray after Mass to thank God for the gift of him being able to be there with his people that day and to pray for the people. People used to say, well, did you drive him here? I said, no, he liked to drive himself. He'd like to spend a little time while he was driving, praying. But there were some times that we drove, and those were always fun because we'd sing, being a fellow Irishman, we'd sing a few Irish songs. We were going down 30 or across the turnpike. When Bishop Rhodes came, Bishop Darcy was very direct and emphatic with me that my time of serving him directly was over and that my job was really to work with Bishop Rhodes, which has been a pleasure as well. About a year ago, I had a little illness and Bishop came to see me and he told me that I should slow down. I should take it easy. And I said, well, Bishop, you're retired. You've got more things to do in a week than I do. Should I take your example or not? I was privileged to spend a little bit of time with him in his last week, and we had a few nice conversations. And one of the last things I said to him was, is there anything I can do for you? And he basically said, you can pray for me. And he said, let's keep in touch. I'm convinced that if he isn't in heaven yet, he's very close to getting there. And I hope that he's watching over my shoulder. I'm sure he'll give me a proper nudge at the right time. When my sister died and said the funeral for my sister in Ohio, which was very moving for our whole family, I was honored to go out when his sister died and help him bury his sister. He was a very holy man to be around without necessarily making you feel uncomfortable about your faith. A man of just very deep faith all the time in almost everything he did. I think I was very privileged to be with him, to be part of what he was able to do. And again, he had a profound effect on my own vocation as a deacon. I asked him one day jokingly, I said, well, since I work so closely to you, do I get to skip a grade? And he said, not on your life. You got to go through it. In fact, I'm going to look at your papers more closely than everybody else's. We had the opportunity to share some of those moments that good friends share. And, to me, he was like a father, if you will. My father died when I was rather young, so he was kind of a little bit of that father figure, but I think he was a father figure to everybody.